What's up, everybody? Brett Mix here from Macho Wrestling 101. Welcome back to the Monday Night Wars. I enjoy doing these, so if you enjoy watching them, hit like and subscribe. I do them in under 10 minutes, and I archive them nicely. So for whenever you want to watch the Monday Night Wars, you can come back to my channel and watch them beforehand or after you watch the show, whatever order you choose. I just have them nicely laid out for you. This is the 99th week of the war. The ratings for this week's Raw were at 2.7. Nitro scored a 4.0 though. So WCW wins for the 61st week in a row. Nitro won by a total of 1.3 viewers in the ratings over the WWF for the third straight week. That's unbelievable that they could win by 1.3 exactly 3 weeks in a row, all at different ratings. But it's always by the same 1.3 differential, all 3 of the last weeks. So now, after this week's loss for Raw, the total scoreboard all the time through the Monday Night Wars has Raw at 17 wins and 80 losses. So that's 17 wins and 80 losses and 2 draws in the 99 weeks. This week's show went on live on the USA Network on Monday night, September the 29th, 1997. It took place at the Pepsi Arena in the capital of New York, Albany. We first see McMahon in the ring to get things going. This is the Bad Blood Go Home show. Raw opened up with the pyro, as always, as the thorn in your eye. It was an awesome video to open the show. This was a big night coming off the awesome Madison Square Garden Raw that they had the week before. JR and King welcome us to the show as Vince is in the ring. To start the show, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Shawn Michaels." Rick Rude says McMahon is in serious need of insurance as he come out with Michaels and told him that. He cuts a promo about how there's outlaws of the Federation, and you got to wonder if Triple H and HBK were going to be called the Outlaws, because they gave that to Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, but this is after DX is named. DX hasn't been named yet in the Monday Night Wars, but you got to wonder if that was the original plan. Triple H cuts a promo about how his time has officially come and no one could lace his boots, and now that he's aligned with HBK, things are better for him. Slaughter comes out and says, "You are not coming out alive in that cell without luck." He says, "Your luck has just ran out because Triple H, you're going to wrestle The Undertaker tonight." Fans go crazy as Triple H and HBK act like Beavis and Butthead, says Ross. King says that. Ross just can't believe the way the two are acting. Both guys acted like preppy thugs, a bunch of degenerates for sure. So one long promo, but those are the bullet points. But it was like a 15-minute segment, but those were the bullet points of the segment. To open up in the ring, we had Vader versus the British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith poses early as the fans boo. Vader comes off the ropes with a bear clap and then drops his elbow on Bulldog. Lots of offense both ways as the Bulldog uses his power to corner Vader. This was a longer match. It had a commercial halfway through it. Vader dropped Davey Boy Smith over the guardrail as the two fought outside. Vader slammed Bulldog's head into the guardrail and then threw him back into the ring, and he went to work on his legs. Vader with a big splash and Bulldog kicked out. 1-2 and a kick out. In the end, Vader then won by DQ at 8:30 after the Hart Foundation came in attacking Vader 3-on-1. I give it a star and 3/4 because it was a good power-on-power matchup until the Hart Foundation interference. After the match, they looked to set up Vader for a figure 4 and lean back into it, did Brett. Then the Patriot ends up coming out, and the Hart Foundation keep attacking both men to weaken them before the pay-per-view as they would meet in a tag match at Bad Blood in a flag tag team match. So this was the build towards that. Farouk with the Nation took on Ahmed Johnson with LOD and Shamrock in his corner in an IC title semifinal match. The winner of this match faces Owen Hart in the finals of the tournament for the IC title at Bad Blood. Both guys with a lot of history against each other, Ahmed and Farouk. Farouk kayfabe injured Ahmed and needed his, I believe he ruptured his kidneys, I believe. That was the storyline. He needed surgery. I think there was a laceration of some sort. But nonetheless, and then Ahmed joined the Nation, and then Farouk kicked him out 3 weeks later. So they have Bad Blood, but they're meeting in a, no pun intended, Bad Blood. They're meeting in a semifinal match to see who faces Owen at Bad Blood. Even teaming together for a brief, awkward few weeks, they did. And now in this match, they got used to hating each other. Ahmed used the steel steps outside of the ring, though, and Farouk wins at 2:29 to move on to the next man at Bad Blood, which is Owen Hart in the finals. I gave it a star as Ahmed DQ'd himself. Both group of guys brawled with each other to end the segment. Pillman takes place in his last Pillman's X-Files with Marlena in a hotel room, as he only had 6 days to live after this event. Sad watching him. McMahon says something eerie. He says, hopefully that's the last we see of Brian Pillman, right after the X-Files ended, as Marlena and Brian Pillman were in bed together to taunt Goldust. McMahon says, hopefully that's the last we see of Brian Pillman. And it's a totally understandable line given the context, but at the same time, it's very eerie knowing that that's his last promo. And it's sad to watch. Dude Love comes out for commentary for the next match. Goldust takes on the Sultan with the Iron Sheik. The Sultan comes out for the first time in a long time. It takes a Sheik like 100 years to get to the ring, but it's understandable. Crazy how they're going to be in the Kemper Arena next week, because that's where the Brian Pillman tribute show happens. Because Brian Pillman dies Sunday at the pay-per-view. The next night they're at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. That's where Owen Hart looks down when they're all out there for Brian Pillman's memorial. And that's the same arena Owen Hart died in. Very eerie stuff again. Very eerie. Two back-to-back things where McMahon says, I wish Pillman's last appearance. And then they are at the Kemper Arena for Brian Pillman's tribute. Sultan with a trapezius hold among other ones to Goldust, and the match dragged big time, but Goldust won at 6:38. Finally, I gave it half a star. A lot of bad matches on this night. This is what the fans came for, though, as Austin arrived through the back door. He comes out in a vest and a black Stone Cold hat. McMahon comes into the ring and says, you're a lunatic. You don't give a damn, or you're certifiable. McMahon says Austin's got 3 options. Next week, you bring a doctor's certificate. Austin returns. If you don't totally absolve the WWF of any liability and he gets hurt, you won't sue the WWF. And 3, McMahon's got to do what he's got to do, which means he's got to fire Austin. Austin says he doesn't make up his mind. He makes up his mind over a doctor, and if he'll beat his ass in front of the world if he fires him. Austin then did some shenanigans to annoy Vince on the way out as he fans cheer, as he stuck up his middle fingers as he was in the commentary booth. Next up, the Los Boricuas met the Headbangers for the tag team titles. Jose Estrada and Jesus Castillo of the Headbangers took on Mosh and Thrasher. Mosh wanted a hot tag. He comes in. Thrasher did a lot of offense. The Headbangers defend themselves versus the Godwins at Bad Blood for a little bit of context, because at the same time, the Godwins interfered. Los Pericos won by DQ at 10:18 after the Godwins arrived, and Uncle Cletus making certain that the Headbangers retain the titles. That way the Godwins can fight for the tag titles of Bad Blood against the Headbangers. Far too long of a match, but they did have some good effort, so I gave it a star. Owen Hart came out wearing an Owen 316 I Just Broke Your Neck shirt. Owen says he speaks the truth, and he could out-wrestle Farouk with both hands tied behind his back. Owen says Austin's a lunatic and make sure Austin leaves the WWF, Owen says to Vince. Owen says he can't wait to win the IC title, and McMahon will make the right decision to get Austin out of the WWF. Owen says he's a family man, and he can't be rushed. It's scaring him to death. All of a sudden, Austin, pretending to be security guard, gives Owen a stunner and runs away through the crowd, as the fans love that. They go over the construction of the Hell in a Cell Sunday between the Taker and Michaels. In the main event, we have The Undertaker versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Undertaker came to the ring and is attacked by the Hart Foundation until Vader and the Patriot attacked them on the ramp. HBK doesn't want any part of The Undertaker as he looked to go after him. All the chaos ends with Hunter Hearst Helmsley goes to work on Taker in the ring. The bell rings and the match is on. After he Irish whipped Undertaker head into the corner turnbuckle, Helmsley with blows to Taker before being sent to the ropes. A shoulder tackle. Undertaker caught Helmsley with a one-handed chokeslam. The fans cheer as Helmsley was drilled into the canvas after that. The insurance man Rick Rude comes out, and Rude attacked Taker with the briefcase as the bell rang. Michaels, the opportunist, beats on Taker after this. HBK with a super kick to The Undertaker as the match ends by disqualification. Helmsley lost to Taker at 2:03. There won't be any DQ at Bad Blood, says Ross, and then they zip him up in a body bag. After the match, McMahon on commentary said, can't believe they're zipping Taker up in the body bag 6 days before Hell in a Cell. Taker then sat up and unzipped himself in the body bag and chased after Triple H and HBK. They end the show with HBK hanging off the Titantron while Taker was waiting for him below while the dead man looked up, symbolizing how there's no escapes at Bad Blood. So quality rating-wise, I gave this show a 5.5 out of 10. It had some star power and it did a good job of building towards Bad Blood, but some of the matches went on too long, like Boricua's Headbangers. There was a good Austin McMahon segment with Owen. Last time seeing Pillman, which was sad. HBK climbing up the Titantron, which was original. So all in all, a 5.5 out of 10. Seems like a good rating. Anyways, hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying the Monday Night Wars. I love doing them. This is another average episode of Raw, but they get better with Kane introduced sooner or later. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.